Next. Yatprapya na kinchidvanchhati na shochati na dveshti na ramate notsahi bhavati. Now Narad Ji says that person who receives a bhakti na kinchidvanchhati. He doesn't have any desires. Why? He has got the highest thing. Sri Krishna had said, Yal labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tata yasmin sthito na dukkhe na gurunapi vichalpate. That once a person attains God, he wants nothing else. And the biggest of miseries, he is able to bear with them easily. So Narad Ji has given a matching aphorism in this one, in which he says that devotee wants nothing. Why? See, if we desire, what will happen? Our mind will go to the object of desire. And if it goes, the bhakti we were doing at present will stop. This mind is such a thing that at one moment you can attach it only in one place. So if you make your mind run to some object with desire, the bhakti that you were doing will stop. Hence, the devotee is very careful not to desire. Na kinchidvanchhati. Let us say that your son is unwell. Now, at night 2 o'clock, you go to the doctor. Doctor, my son is not well. The doctor says, listen, it's 2 o'clock at night, I cannot come. You come tomorrow morning and show him in my clinic. Doctor, how can you say that? He will die. So on your pleading, the doctor agrees, you go, you take him. He sees your son, he writes a medicine and you drop him back. Now you take the medicine to the drugstore. The chemist, he gives you the medicine, you take it, you go and give it to your son. So all this work that you did, you were going and meeting the doctor, you were going and meeting the chemist. Were you engaged in devotion to the doctor or the chemist? No. The devotion was of the son. Because your inner desire was, let my son get all right. So wherever the desire is, that is what devotion it will be considered. Similarly, if we desire the world and we run around in bhakti, God will say, this is not my devotion. If you want to engage in devotion to me, then you come to me without desires. So Narad Ji says, kinchidvanchhati, this devotion is free from desires. And na shochati, free from lamentation. We all, time to time, take our minds in the past. Something happened that was unpleasant 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago, 25 years ago. And we start thinking, this happened, this was not good, why did it happen? Now when we do that, our mind runs to the past. And when it goes into the past, the present chintan of God and Guru that we were supposed to do stops. In other words, that bhakti is terminated. This bhakti is a moment to moment thing. It's not that, I did bhakti in the past, so I'm all right. You have to remember God now, in the present moment. And if you permit your mind to lament about the past, you cannot do bhakti in the present. So Naradji says, na shochati, the devotee does not lament. Now you may say, why not? Just a few days ago, I sent some tweets about this, that you should not lament. And there was a tremendous response. Because everybody is realizing, yes, we do lament. And the question is how to stop it. You're right, Swamiji, we should not lament, but how not to lament? How not to have regrets about the past? What happened to us? Well, the simple formula is, you make your goal spiritual. My goal is to spiritually elevate myself. When that is your goal, you will think that this happened in order to get me detached from the world and move in the direction of God. Just like, let us say you had a loss of wealth. Now, if your goal is material, you will say, oh God, today I'm 200,000 less just because in the recession I lost so much in the stock market. But if your goal is spiritual, you will say, God took this away so that I should learn detachment. In other words, you will see that incident as having a positive impact upon you. We can see everything as having a positive impact, provided we make spiritual advancement as our goal. There was once a boy who found in his garden a cocoon. He was excited that when the butterfly emerges, I will be the first one to see it. Morning and evening, he would pass by and check the state of the cocoon. One day, a dot had appeared on the cocoon. Now his excitement increased. Every hour he would go and check, and slowly that butterfly poked its head out. The caterpillar had become a butterfly. He saw it. He was transfixed. The butterfly was tearing that cocoon apart and coming out. Halfway through, the butterfly seemed to get stuck. It was trying its best. The cocoon was bobbing up and down, but the butterfly was not being able to break through. He felt pity on the butterfly. He took a scissors and he cut the cocoon into two, thinking the butterfly will emerge and fly into the sky. Unfortunately, to his dismay, that butterfly fell flat on the ground. And he saw that its belly was all swelled up and its wings were shriveled. He thought it would get corrected, the belly would shrink and the wings would fill up. But it was never to be. He did not realize that it would have been that struggle that would have pushed the liquid from the belly into the wings. Without that struggle, the wings would always remain shriveled. Similarly, we too want to avoid difficulties. We want the easy way out. We look for people who will cut the cocoon and simplify our life without realizing that it is these difficulties that fill up our wings. This is God's way of teaching us to fly. preparing us for the journey ahead. So what we consider difficulties and reversals and tragedies are actually all beneficial in the evolutionary journey of the soul. Like Swami Vivekananda had said, that life is the continuous unfoldment of a being under circumstances tending to press it downwards. Now, if we keep on thinking of the circumstances, this is what happened, we will not do bhakti. In other words, that circumstance will not take us up. It will pull our mind down. So Narad Ji says, be careful, na shochati, that devotee does not lament. Na dveshti, he does not even hate anyone. You see, if we hate somebody, our mind will again go into the object of hatred. Just as in love, the mind goes to the object which you love. Similarly, in hatred, the same thing happens. The object of your hate comes to the mind. And you start burning, that person is bad, that person did to me. Listen, this is what he did. Come, let me tell you what he did. The same kirtan bhajan is going on. So what is the consequence? That object of hatred has come to your mind. And when that has come to your mind, the bhakti or devotion that you were supposed to do now has finished. So you have to be careful that you don't let your mind get distracted and keep it focused on the object of your devotion. Jagat Guru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj gives a beautiful example. He says, there was once a dog who used to live in Mangar. Mangar is his birthplace. This is our main ashram. So one dog came from Allahabad. And he asked this Mangar dog that, why are you just hanging around in this village of Mangar? What do you get to eat out here? Some satsangi throws some crumb when you are able to get it, otherwise then you are hungry. Why don't you come to Allahabad? And look, in the market out there, you'll get such wonderful sweets. So the Mangar dog said, that's a great idea, let's go to Allahabad. The two of them planned that every day we will walk 15 kilometers. So we will reach Allahabad, that's the big city, in 4 days. Now with this plan, they started off. By the time it became evening, they had covered 15 kilometers, they reached a village. So they said, let's make the night halt out here. Also, we'll get something to eat and then we'll start off tomorrow. However, when they tried to enter the village, the dogs of the village pounced upon them. That is the nature of dogs. They all have their territories, and if another dog comes, then they start barking. So when there were so many dogs there, they chased them, these two, they decided not to fight. They said, these dogs are very bad, let's continue. That halt, 30-kilometer halt that we had planned, let us stop there. So they continued. When they reached the next village and they tried to enter, there again the dogs chased them off. But these two did not fight with anybody. They kept on running. And the result was that the 4-day journey got covered in 1.5 days. And if they had said, what do you think of yourself? You bark like that at me. See how loudly I can bark. They would have been wounded and would be lying under some tree. So similarly, this is not a perfect world that we live in. We will also always have people who do various things to us. Now, if we start fighting with them, if we start challenging them, if we say, who do you think you are? I will show you. The consequence is that our own mind will get dirty. That is why Narad Ji says, na dveshti, that devotee, he shuns dvesh or ill will or ill feeling or hatred. Kripaluji Maharaj goes to the extent of saying, Bhuli hu dur bhavana kahu, ho na sapne hu pyare. Bhuli hu dur bhavana kahu, ho na sapne hu pyare. Ho na sapne hu pyare. He says, even by mistake, don't allow ill will to come into your heart. So, na dveshti, na ramate. The devotee does not rejoice in material gains or in material things. He needs to maintain the body, so he eats. Because he has to provide the body with vitamin A, B, C, D. But he does not rejoice. Oh, this rasgulla is not good enough. I only eat that Kolkata wala Bengali rasgulla. Now that is rejoicing in the things of the world. There's one thing to do upayog, utilize, and other thing to consider it an object of pleasure. So Narad Ji says, na ramate. Although being in the world, he is not allowing the world to be in him. And notsahi bhavati. He does his duty, but notsahi. Not filled with ambition. He has to work. He has to do his job. All right. He does to the best of his ability in the time he has. But whether he gets the promotion or not, whether he is acclaimed or not acclaimed, whether somebody else takes the claim that was supposed to come his way, he doesn't care. Why? Because he is doing his job in devotion for the pleasure of God, not for his own pleasure. So the fruits are unimportant. The effort is what is important, which is the philosophy of the Gita. Karmanne vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. See, we always get harassed, attached to the fruits. Something doesn't happen the way we want it, immediately we become upset. So Narad Ji says, notsahi bhavati. He does the same things that worldly people are doing. The devotee is also working. Devotee is also eating. Devotee is also maintaining the body. But the difference is internal. Notsahi bhavati.